lineups brought to you by Wren Athletics. Raina Terry, her production, it can be anywhere on the floor, but Angel Perez, head coach of Columbus, wants it on the right side. So rookie Akasha Anderson, her very first professional start.
Yeah, Coach Angel Perez is excited about Akasha Anderson. She's very physical. He said she reminds her of Raina Terry her first season. He likes how she attacks the block as well. Raina Terry, very consistent and efficient on that opposite position, so it'll be interesting to see how she does.
For Dallas and head coach Shannon Windsor, the headline names are Collier and Valentine Anderson, but Maldonado Diaz, monster game, 30 kills, second most in MLB history in 5 sets Thursday night in Omaha.
And one of the things that's impressive about that is she hit over 300 with those 30 kills. So watch her tonight carry that momentum, that confidence into this match.
A vibrant crowd on this Saturday night at Nationwide. They are faithful to their fury, and they are hopeful for their very first home victory of 2026. Columbus, they've dropped a couple in a row. They are 2-6 on this season and have to deal with some tumult during the course of the week. But back at home after their long trip from San Diego, were swept on this floor by Dallas back on January 29th. And we'll look for a little restitution here tonight.
Yep, last time they played, the Fury got outblocked 11-7. Dallas was more efficient offensively, 262 to 137. So every area of the game, Columbus is going to look to do better at to challenge Dallas.
Akasha Anderson, native of the D.C. area, standout at Big Ten schools Purdue and then Michigan State previously, gets her first start. Also got a look at Kamaili Hiapo, who will be the libero for Columbus. Alexandra Yegdich, one of the top liberos in the league. Reports have had her off to Vakif Bank in Turkey. More on that, but she's not with the club, and Columbus plays on. Underway at Nationwide, and the opener comes with that big swing from Maldonado Diaz, picking up where she left off Thursday.
And I spoke initially about the tempo set. You're going to see Natalia Valentine Anderson run that tempo to Maldonado Diaz, so Maldonado Diaz is able to beat the block with how quick that offense is.
Four-year pro Caitlin Horde started her MLB career in Columbus. Goes in the middle tonight with Van Buskirk. Dick from Collier. The dig from the Fury early on. Kaylee Cox, another one who got her start in Central Ohio, and Columbus strides up the equalizer here early on from Anderson.
Coach said he has no concern with Akasha Anderson's offense, her physicality, and how hard she attacks the ball. Key for her is going to be passing. She could be a target there.
Just her 5th kill of the season. She did have 2 against Dallas back in January. Off speed on the tip over, falls back ahead.
Dallas has done a really good job last match, and at this point in the season, running through their middles. That was Lane Van Buskirk, 4th in the league in hit efficiency at .356.
And to that, Tristan Savage, the 4-year pro from Dallas, Oregon, has also been strong, but not starting tonight. Horde gets that go. Valentine Anderson, Collier, Pittman Nelson reacts on the recoil. Slide from Van Buskirk. Lush with Murr, a former standout Buckeye here in Columbus. Anderson. One heck of a rally, and it started with the swing from the rookie.
And it's such an advantage to have a 6 rotation outside that you feel confident running them through the pipe or the big, because in a scramble play like that, you need an outlet. Akasha Anderson is that outlet in the back row.
Rising star, Raina Terry, sophomore season, better than the first, but that sails long on the serve error. From Terry going to the right side, what is so important for the Fury early on as she sets the tone, looking to get points on that part of the floor?
Definitely getting into a rhythm. It's a completely different attack and a different approach. The ball has to cross over your shoulder, but it's been really impressive how seamless it's been. She said, I haven't played much right side, but she's been extremely efficient. Coach told us she hits 600 on the D ball, 400 on the red, so pretty impressive. They're going to look to get her into a rhythm early.
Pittman Nelson hit a scorcher, wanted a block touch, didn't get it. 4-2 Dallas. Lush down the line. Infraction from the Pulse. Fury within one.
Megan Courtney Lush is the cornerstone of this team, Coach Angel Perez said. He said it's not just the attacks, it's the touch, it's the reception, it's the IQ, it's the knowledge, the trust, and the leadership that she provides.
32 years young, Lush going for motherhood to knee injuries for much of last season. But this is the most depth the Fury have had, and they've been in so many close affairs that have not gone their way, including losing 2 5-setters on this home floor with the Pulse going back up 2. And Buskirk with a dart for the ace.
Why that serve was so difficult to pass is it dropped at the last second, so it's difficult to get your platform underneath it with it dipping right in front of you.
A smack with Hiapo, making good cover. Off speed, Anderson looking very comfortable so far in this start.
And that's what you want out of Akasha Anderson, ripping a bunch right out of the gates and then taking something off of it. You don't want the defense to get comfortable. The defense is now on their heels because of the power she established early.
Collier got into the work defensively for Valentine Anderson. The shovel over, last off Dallas.
Raina Terry with the amazing up. She has her hands in every single aspect of this Columbus Fury team. That play was made possible because of her.
Raina Terry, right now, one of the few that's top 10 in the league in kills and also digs defensively with her work. That sails away.
And tied for 5th in total blocks.
Very impressive. Spent time as an assistant coach at the University of Milwaukee. Felt that's helped her cerebral edge to the game. Serve error for Dallas. That was a struggle, Shannon Windsor said earlier in the year. The serve game for the Pulse, they feel it's been refined a little bit more over the last few matches.
She said now it's serving strategic to eliminate a stack or eliminate different offensive routes. She's happy with the progression on the service line.
Serve errors are contagious. Evans put one into the twine. 8-6, Dallas. Shannon Windsor. Great coaching run both in Canada and Australia, and really has set the foundation for this first-year club at 6-3. They've won their last 2, and Kaylee Cox, a return back to her rookie season here in Columbus where she played, delivers off the block.
Coach Shannon Windsor said, plain and simple, Kaylee Cox, best all-around player in our gym.
That's high praise, and Angel Perez felt that too. Overpass with Horde looking to dispatch. Good dig, Hiapo. Horde scraping it along and over the top with a wiper blade finish.
That's one of those where if you're the Fury, there's some hesitation there. That was a good touch. Someone's got to get in there, own it, and pass that ball up.
Lead extends to 4 in this opening set for Dallas. Collier targets Lush. Jam job with Raina Terry rocking it off some fingertips. Angel Perez, Puerto Rican Volleyball Hall of Famer. He will enter that in March. But he's hanging tough. He's lost one of the better setters, or one of the better liberos in the league. And he's had to recalibrate looking for that right side and playing a lot of young players, but doing a great job coaching them up. They're hungry for a victory here. Into the net went Columbus. Dallas expands to 11-7.
So sorry, watch Valentine Anderson on defense. So incredible. She's leading the team in digs with 131. That's very rare as a setter. She's second in the league in digs per set. So watch her defensively get some good ups.
Horde going out a system where Hiapo holds the line, and then Collier from the back did not deal with that whack from Terry.
Raina Terry has so much power. She's so physical. I said it before. It's difficult to go from outside to opposite. The approach is different. How you attack the ball when you cut it off is different, but she's a true athlete.
It's the other portion of her playing on the right side with that jostled free. Pittman Nelson stuffing Maldonado Diaz for the moment. A quick set at the net for Pittman Nelson, who's so efficient. Kaylee Cox, though, comes up with the good vibes.
That's something that Coach Angel Perez wants the Fury to get better at, is running the middle in transition and putting the ball away more in transition through the middles. But Kaylee Cox with that range, so good, swiping it off the outside arm.
Evans having to extend for that lush. Sloppy pass work, but Columbus does get the job done.
Good heads-up play by Raina Terry. That's one, if you get an overpass like that, you just have to have that point. She did a good job of being involved, keeping her eyes on the game and putting it down.
Terry had 14 kills when they met back on January 29th, Columbus and Dallas. The Fury only efficient at below 140. Another big swing from Dallas.
One of the reasons why Maldonado Diaz is so difficult to defend is the speed of the arm swing. First of all, great set, in-system, tempo, beautiful, but then that fast arm swing, she's able to tool the block.
Asked her before tonight, 31 kills to follow it up, she laughed. Serving here. Hammered by Collier.
The problem with the Fury initially right now is no one's stepping up to put the ball away, and so then when Dallas gets the ball in transition, they're able to score. So I think a focus for the Fury right now is someone stepping up, ending plays in transition and putting it away.
And it's been a struggle, their transition offense, their first contact serve receive game. When they're in system, they can be strong, but it's been wobbly outside of that, and they find themselves down 5 with Angel Perez calling time.
And that's exactly what Angel Perez told us before this matchup. He said, we're struggling to convert in transition. We need to be smart and disciplined. So getting those sets precise, pushing that pass up to the net. They're playing off the net a lot of times. So just the little things in transition that can really make all the difference.
Meanwhile, Shannon Windsor was not happy after those 2 straight matches lost back-to-back. Especially, she felt Omaha was just a brutal reminder of how tough this league can be, but they've gotten back to basics, beat Grand Rapids, and then took care of Omaha in 5 to have a little bit of revenge on Thursday night.
I love what she told us before this match. She said she felt like this team wasn't meeting the standards that they set at the beginning of the season, so they called a team meeting, they focused on accountability, and then they bounced back and had 2 amazing matches back-to-back.
With Valentine Anderson, the Puerto Rican setter, who sets the pulse. She's like a coach on the floor her 17 years and comes from the winning pedigree of Omaha. Lobbed over on that pass, Kaylee Cox. Raina Terry with a rocket. Collier took advantage of the vacant space.
Incredible dig by Kylie Murr. Just lining up right on that line. Raina Terry had some space in the line, so she took it. But Kylie Murr put herself in a great position to get that dig, and then Collier showing a lot of IQ, good volleyball IQ there.
Murr, of course, the sensational career at Ohio State before she finished at Minnesota, but she is still the all-time digs leader for the Buckeyes. Serve error. Quells a second consecutive point for Dallas, but they're up 5 here in the opener. Van Buskirk steers it wide on the attack error.
Coach Windsor said she's pushing her team to tip more, and that's not something that you usually hear from a coach, but she said we're very physical, we've got really good attacks, but she wants them to throw in the tip a little bit more.
Valentine Anderson to her knees. How about that delivery high for Collier?
So precise, great location, and Collier, the triple block up on her, but she's so smart, she swings high and above. Dallas
to 16 for Dallas. They're 4-1 on the road. Only Omaha surpassing that at 5-0 on the young season. Past the quarter pole. Collier's block over, but Pittman Nelson with enough to jam it home.
Coach Angel Perez told us we don't want her married to the slide. She's a very good slide attacker, but they want to mix in the gap, and the slide. It's a really good swing off the arms of the block there.
There's a team, Columbus, that got away primarily from the slide last year with a couple of rookie middles. But they can go back to it with Pittman Nelson, and they're rolling along here off the block touch to get the first 2 out of the timeout.
That's a veteran move by Akasha Anderson. That was a trap set, which means the block was up. It was inside. The block was up and pressed. So what she did was so smart by swiping it off the hand for the tip.
Akasha Anderson Big arm, second team all Big Ten at Purdue last season. Terry for the rookie, Maldonado Diaz, in the middle back, passing that away. More confident swing there from Anderson. Good back and forth right now. Valentine Anderson to Collier, cross court and with conviction.
As a 4-4, that is a difficult attack. You got to get on top of it, drop that thumb, have the perfect amount of snap. Mimi Collier's got all of it. You see the block up, giving her that 4-4. Middle blocker in left back. Reagan Pittman-Nelson not able to get there and dig it up.
Both teams over 300 in this opening set. Dallas by 4. Dallas by 3. Raina Terry with a little bick.
And that's what you've got to do. When you have a triple block up, you've got to go around it or power through it. Raina Terry, with all of that physicality that she brings in, the momentum in her approach, was able to power through.
Valentine Anderson jumping early. Maldonado Diaz. Terry wanted to take advantage of it. Collier rolls it along off Abby Walker.
What's fun about this matchup is Mimi Collier usually an outside, Raina Terry usually an outside. You'll see Collier sometimes play opposite, Raina Terry playing opposite. So both coaches moving their leading attackers along the net to try to make something happen.
The subtleties of looking for any advantage, especially when you've seen each other so close in a matter of 2 weeks. Anderson went awry with that swing down the line. Attack errors were an issue last weekend in San Diego for the Fury. Took the opening set but lost in 4. Mojo have won a couple in a row, including a reverse sweep in the middle of the week. Return to the bread and butter in Raina Terry.
It was a really good set by Ashley Evans, getting her feet to the ball and able to push it. Her momentum is moving backwards towards the other pin, but she gets her body behind it and is able to get it all the way out there to Terry.
Maldonado Diaz overpass, and Megan Lush makes sure the point's Columbus's.
And this is going to be a key for Columbus, is the service pressure, because when Dallas is in system, when they get the pass, they have all of their options. They run such a tempo offense. They're able to score, so they've got to serve aggressively, and that was really good serve.
Cox, very efficient so far in this opening set when she swung.
Kaylee Cox, the last 3 matches, has been such an X factor. She came off the bench 3 matches ago. 3 kills, hit .429, all she needed to do. Then 14 kills, hitting around 500, and then 9 kills and 12 digs. So every time she gets an opportunity, she is really taking advantage of it.
3 kills on 6 swings, hitting 500 here in the first. Pulse have paced this first set. Because Valentine Anderson puts it on a platter for Maldonado Diaz, and the block extends out of play.
If the block up in the air, just not pressing totally over the net, not turning their palms into the court, and that's what caused the tool.
5 has been the largest lead for Dallas here in the first set. Abby Walker gets that one in her favor. Really quick tempo for her out of the middle.
Absolutely, and Columbus needs more of that. They need to push that pass to the net. The efficiency from the middles in Walker and Pittman-Nelson is really good, but they need the pass to run that.
Her efficiency is 6th in the league at .350. 21-17, scraping to the outside. Maldonado Diaz, but it's too far wide. Devaney McLarty, the up official. Wesley Radigan on the floor. Kaylee Cox can do no wrong here in the first set.
And that's what we've seen from her all season when she gets the chance. Instead of a 4-4, that's a 2-2. So you're dropping your pinky, you're getting on top of it, you're slicing it off. And here's her numbers the past 3 matches. Those are very efficient numbers for a pin attacker, especially moving pin to pin.
Essentially playing at home. She's from Flower Mound, Texas. northwest part of the Metroplex. Fury able to side out, and with the strength of Reina Terry, ripping it off Maldonado Diaz. Columbus hanging tight, as they often have, especially on their home floor this season. Mimi Collier can split hairs with that pick out of the corner.
It's so precise. She's just as effective from the front as she is the back, and that's a sign of a good 6 rotation outside. Watch her identify the arms of Pittman Nelson and swing away. So good eye work, good precision, and just painting the line over there.
Loving life as a pro. She told us that she's got all this downtime, so managing it outside of training and practice. Of course, when you're a student athlete, she was at Oregon and Wisconsin, respectively, but figuring that out, but has really gotten into bedazzling with a lot of the rookie class across the league. So something to consider. Will she be a part of the All-Star game? You ever do any bedazzling?
No, I haven't, but I might get into it now if Mimi Collier's doing it.
Great 5 to have. Service error from Dallas, 23-20. Pulse a couple of points away from taking this opening set. They took all 3 back at the end of January against the Fury. We're 0-4 on their home floor. Only club without a home victory. How about the block there from Anderson? Pittman Nelson also in on the action.
Big time block by Akasha Anderson. Those were really good, strong hands over the net. Sensing that there's a little bit of space between her and her middle blocker, so she's diving those arms, reaching back into the seam. Really good block by her. And you can't count the Fury out. Now they're only down by 2. They just have been steadily pushing. They've amped up the service pressure. They've made some good plays in transition on defense. You can't count them out.
And if you've watched any Columbus matches this season, they've hung in just like this, but the ability to take it up one level to get over the hump or to make the difference late in a set is what they're looking for. It can't all be Reina Terry, and that's where the question comes in. Where will the rest of the offense come? They drafted Flor Maria Heredia Colon, who looks like she could be a really outstanding player, but dealing with injury and perhaps a long-term one. Yeah,
so that's a big loss, but Coach Angel Perez is confident with the players that he put out onto the court. He said initially with Megan Lush, when they had Heredia Colon in, they needed about 2 points from Lush, but now with Colon out, they need 1 more point from her. They just need a couple more points from different players to get back in it.
23-21, out of the timeout, Collier concocts, but what an effort by Hiapo. First the dig, then the pass over. Maldonado Diaz, but there's a net touch from Columbus. Set point coming for Dallas.
Hiapo's been really impressive in this set. Really good dig, giving them a chance. Lush getting there, but still, it's the power of Dallas, the offensive efficiency that powers through.
Evans, big swing from Anderson. Pittman Nelson on the joust. Collier goes long. Columbus hangs around.
Mimi Collier told me what she's working on this season is the decision making. She can hit high line, she can hit deep cross, sharp cross, but making the decisions on when to hit what. So that was smart, trying to go high over the block down the line. Just got a little too underneath it, didn't get enough snap on the ball.
Substitutions here with Jalen Hodge, second-year pro who was in Puerto Rico last season. It's her 5th match of the year, and on to serve in a big situation. Also, Raynell Jones, who's got clutch blocking. Not a clutch swing from Dallas, and the Fury nibble away at the deficit. Within 1 at 24-23. Good theater here in this opening set. Columbus having to deal with the transition of losing one of the league's best liberos so far on this young season, but Reina Terry who wants to take more of a vocal leadership role for this team, said, that doesn't faze us. We're going to come out and put our best effort forward regardless of who's on the floor.
Yeah, I love that conversation with Raina Terry. She said, we have a choice. We can show up and we can fight, or we can say, all right, you can have it and roll over. She said tonight will be a really good test to see what we choose based on the adversity that they've had this week. She said she's confident that this team will choose to fight, and I think they've shown a lot of fight in this set, just clawing back little by little. Also something to know, Coach Angel Perez put Raynell Jones in, and then also Abby Walker. So they're really focusing here on a big block to try and slow down the Poles.
Dallas was at 60% reception when they played in the first matchup. Now dealing with that serve, and the swing off the extremities of Walker earns the opening set for the Pulse, who side out to stake claim in Northeast Sacramento, Lincoln, California. Starts off the second set with a service error. They went back and forth Thursday night at Omaha, did Dallas. Won the first set, won the third, won the fifth. Ford, heavy swing off the ball from Valentine Anderson. Off speed from Cox. Abby Walker wanted to terminate. Maldonado Diaz does.
Maldonado Diaz has all of the angles. Let's start from the dig. Amazing, Mimi Collier just putting herself in a great position to make that play. Good feet by Valentine Anderson getting that set.
Terry. How about that fight off from Valentine Anderson? Off the joust, goes the way of Van Buskirk.
Coach Windsor told me Lane Van Buskirk, she's always been an elite attacker, but she's grown the most on the block, getting her feet there, pressing over the net. She's got a long reach, and so when she's invasive like that, she's really difficult to stop.
She's very laid back. Of course, those two, Shannon Windsor, Lane Van Buskirk, the Canadian international experience together, coach and player. But always keeps an even keel and a good perspective, and that helps here with her pro club in Dallas.
Columbus Fury needs more of that. In that first set, they had a combined 2 kills out of the middle. These are the most efficient attackers. Abby Walker is so fast, so getting them involved will be key.
Evens things up at 2. Van Buskirk and Cox. Anderson introducing herself to this starting lineup tonight and comes from the back row.
Akasha Anderson here in the back row going wrist away. It's a triple block, but they're a little scattered. There's some space, and Akasha Anderson find the seams.
Well, how about that play by Murr from the seat of her pants on reception, and Maldonado Diaz completes it off on the play for Dallas. Maldonado Diaz, this is a big night for her, not because she's not capable of putting up big points and big kills, but to do it consistently, that's what Shannon Windsor wants to see. Raina Terry has rolled along consistently all season.
And that's essentially a one-on-one situation. That's a wonderful set by Ashley Evans, putting Raina Terry in a great position to score. Lane Van Buskirk just holding there, not able to get there and close the block, opening up the one-on-one.
7 kills for Terry. Yapo puts that high ball up for Lush. That can system out of that transition for a moment. But the response is better from Dallas and Collier.
We've seen this a lot this season, and especially in the pros, the use of the back row attack. It is a regular form. It's a regular avenue of each of these teams' offenses.
6 kills, hitting .286, Maldonado Diaz. Evans, jam job in the middle, and the Columbus setter shows some strength.
A lot of times in those situations, you'll see the setter win the joust. They're hanging in the air longer, they're pushing stronger, and so a lot of the times you'll see the setter win that.
It was one of the big emphasis for Angel Perez going into this season. Stronger down the spine, setter and libero. Evans has helped provide that after some really good years in Grand Rapids. Mimi Collier delivers another kill.
Valentine Anderson did such a good job there. She's falling off the net. She's even farther behind that 10-foot line, but still leading her attacker to score.
Anderson whacking that towards High Street and out of play. 6-5 Dallas. Van Buskirk can't scrape the end line. And the serve error, the second of this second set for the Pulse. Reagan Pittman Nelson, who contemplated retirement in the offseason. Angel Perez talked her out of it, said we can use you in the middle. Boy, he's glad that she obliged. Was long there with the serve, but she's been immense for the Fury.
Leading the league in blocks with 26 and blocks per set. She's been a phenomenal force at the net.
Valentine Anderson playing at such a high level. 4-time setter of the year across various competitions in 5 countries. It's the Fury, though, off the block, and Anderson ratchets up another kill.
Akasha Anderson being targeted on serve receive, but doing a good job at handling that load so far.
Mishandled by Murr, but it's an ace for Columbus. And the Fury
really had such phenomenal performances back to back to back.
3-time player of the week. Out of the timeout, Akasha Anderson making a name for herself. Keep in mind, she only had 4 kills coming into tonight. Angel Perez, you alluded to it. I'm not worried about her with her swings, and she's delivering. Nine 7. 2 straight from Columbus. When in need of something to settle things down, you find Collier.
I've been really impressed with how both offenses are able to run fully off the net. So both setters kind of falling off the net, but still able to run their full offenses. And both teams have been really efficient with that.
Collier, though, steers the serve wide. That's her second serve error of the second set. Collier paced the way in the previous meeting between these two with 12 kills. Maldonado Diaz chipped in with 10. So did Van Buskirk because of plays like that with the block, which belongs to Lush.
That was true discipline on the block. Watch Lush rise and then turn that left arm into the court, face that palm, push back into the court to get the stuff.
Well, she has been the face of the franchise since day one. Incredible career at Penn State and with the U.S. national team. A libero, she's so valuable in the back row with her defense. Dallas sides out, though, on the Columbus serve error. Walker has that repelled from Van Buskirk. And she does it again. Best game of the season so far in terms of kills and blocks came here 2 weeks ago, Van Buskirk.
Van Buskirk moves really quickly laterally, and that's an aspect of the game you have to have as a middle blocker, and she has it.
11-10 Fury. Off speed from Terry. Cox took a tumble, and Walker makes sure Columbus closes. Abby Walker, second-year pro. About an hour and a half east of here where she grew up, played collegiately at Cincinnati. Jostled around on the back with the reception for the Fury. Can't come up with it. Kaylee Cox. Anytime we call her name, it usually results in a point. At 12-11, Flower Mound native serves. Lush tooling Valentine Anderson, whose rise game at the net is underrated, but couldn't defend that. Yeah,
a little bit of a height disparity there, but that usually doesn't slow Valentine Anderson down. I've seen some one-on-one stuffs by her. But here, Lush just getting the better part of it, swinging high and over down the line.
Kendall White can play as a libero, but more of a defensive specialist now as she settles in to that back row with Cox coming off the floor. Speaking of the back, the Bick from Collier.
She's so good from middle back, coming in, using all of that momentum. Look at how long her approach is, and then it's the jump over the 10-foot line, almost landing at the net. That's how much momentum she has in her approach.
Columbus has pretty much let her out this second set. They can't create any separation. Maldonado Diaz stays away. And that high ball where Collier cleans it up to even things at 13.
And that's something that she's been working on, is the decision making. That was a very smart decision. The block up, pressed right in her face. But she identified that, goes high over the block with the tip. If she were to swing, she might have gotten stuffed. So that was a really good decision.
Collier with 13 kills. Her personal best in this rookie season has been 24. Error on the serve from Dallas. That's their fourth in this second set.
Exactly. Reading my mind.
What's going to happen here? There's Lush over. Maldonado Diaz off the block touch.
And that was a nice delay of swing by Maldonado Diaz, hanging in the air, waiting just a little bit so the block is on its way down, and that allows her to swipe it off her hands.
8th kill for her. But this is plugging Dallas right now, just keeping it in play from the serve line. That was one of the issues coming into the match. It was part of a 4-game win streak Dallas had back to round out the month of January, and then they lost those 2 in a row. It's shallow on the swing from Collier.
Perez needed. He needed someone to point score, and she's done so far.
Virginia Gatorade Player of the Year out of high school. She started collegiately at Auburn before working her way to Big Ten country. 17-14 and a timeout with the Fury out of the technical timeout, extending by 3, and she is having a ball on this night so far. Akasha Anderson in her very first pro start. Signed as a free agent. She wasn't drafted coming out of college, but the selection looks like a wise one. And they've run the gamut of various outside hitters. Jalen Hodge has gotten a crack, and when Raina Terry's in her more traditional position, but on the right side, it was interesting speaking to Terry because so often she hasn't really dabbled playing the opposite, and she said she did it her first 2 matches in college at Illinois because she had mono and yet wasn't up to strength to play as an outside hitter.
And then she said she hasn't played opposite since, but coach saw the efficiency, the 600 on the D ball, the 400 on the red, and put her out there.
And that domino theory with her manifesting as a pro at that position has given a window for Anderson to take advantage, and she has so far. But the pulse and that little spurt by Columbus. Kaylee Cox returns. Dallas trailing 17-15. Valentine Anderson still humming away, the Olympian in 2016. But that is pummeled. And the Fury know that Raina Terry carries the headlines.
Yeah, and I love how they're moving Raina Terry along that back line, along the 10-foot line, not all the way out there to the D ball, bringing her inside. Really good swing by her.
Anderson and Walker got a piece of Cox, who brings marshmallows toward that campfire.
And that's exactly what Coach Windsor wants from her team. So we've got the power, but we need to do better at tipping to the pot, she calls it. Whenever we see the opportunity there, Kaylee Cox saw it wide open.
Clean game so far from Cox in her attack. Fury by 2. Swiping down the line, Maldonado Diaz.
That set by Valentine Anderson is why she's one of the best in the league. All the way back in area 1, getting her body behind it, pushing it all the way to Maldonado Diaz. There was a triple block up on Maldonado Diaz, but she still took care of it with that high swing.
Maldonado Diaz delivering her 8th kill. 30 assists for Valentine Anderson, who had 99 over the last 2 matches. Concocts another one off a block touch with the backline kill. 18 all. Dallas going on a 4-1 mini spurt here to even things.
Mimi Collier with 8 kills in that first set, now with 7 in this set, hitting 600. I said it before, but it's the seamless transition from college to the pros that's been so impressive by her. The game is faster, the game is more physical in the pros. It's the best of the best in college coming to this league, but she has just risen to the occasion and hasn't missed a beat, it seems.
We were already talking about young players and dealing with passing at this level. She said, I feel like I'm holding my own in that category. I always know she can bring the point threshold, and this is what she's done so far tonight.
Yep, she said she settled into her passing when she played at Wisconsin, got a whole lot of reps, and so she feels confident in that area of her game, which is good because she's getting targeted. Her offense has just been so powerful, so physical. She doesn't play like a rookie. She sees the block well, and she's working on the decision-making, and it shows.
Morgan, her given name. Mimi, the nickname from a young age. Raina Terry closing in cross court. Columbus out of the timeout, back up 1.
The one-arm set by Ashley Evans, still controlling her body, not netting, pushing it out to Raina Terry. So impressive.
Anderson, a little wobbly down the line on the serve. 19 all. Columbus, by and large, has done pretty well from the serve line this year, just avoiding the errors. Tristan Savage, haven't seen a ton of action tonight, was getting a heavy dose of time just several weeks ago. Columbus works off the block touch.
Columbus is passing well in this set. Lush, beautiful pass, good clean first ball contact to set up Terry.
46% positive for the match so far. Terry, Cox, back and forth. Haley Cox, who Angel Perez said she's a sleeper. When they drafted her out of Western Kentucky, she started at Missouri last year, felt it was a chance for her to develop, but now playing closer to home. And one-year contracts, so the moves in free agency. Haley Cox is finding a home back where she grew up. Whacked at from the middle by Pittman Nelson.
Wow. I thought that play was over. So did our referees, and we're going to replay it. That was crazy.
Almost kicking the can down the road from the Dallas perspective. Don't see that often. Cox serving, Pittman Nelson, and it benefits the Pulse in the end.
That set just a little too low. Pittman Nelson not able to get on top of it. And when you get underneath it like that and you're not grabbing any fingertips, you can't put the ball down, and most likely you're going to swing out.
Dallas has grabbed a 1-point advantage here late in the second set. Sprawling back, Lush. Maldonado Diaz. Down it goes.
And with how tight a match is and a set is like this, 2 missed connections between setters and hitters can really make all the difference. Just like that, the Dallas Pulse is in charge.
Near double figures, closing in on the kill mark. A big swing through the arms of Terry and Pittman Nelson. Maldonado Diaz, Shannon Windsor was speaking about her signing while playing in Romania last year, but kind of the unknown maybe for fans of MLB, but that's the blend now. You get the young collegiate stars and some who have also applied the trade briefly overseas, and while she may be unknown, she's starting to make a presence felt. And now the question, can she continue what she did Thursday night into a second consecutive match and have that consistency?
It's going to be hard. 30 kills, hitting above 300 last time they played, but still, I mean, anywhere 15, that would still be amazing too. Coach wants her confidence to continue to grow, so tacking on 2 good matches would do good for that.
Johnny Teeler against Omaha last March, 5-set league record with 31 kills. She fell 1 shy of that. That falls to the floor off the Columbus block. They're one of the best in the league in that category.
Yep, leading the league in blocks and blocks per set with over 3 a set is the Fury. That's a trap set all day long. You see Maldonado Diaz reaching, but there was nothing she could do.
Overpass from Cox. The rare miscue she's had tonight. Dig for Maldonado Diaz, and a spike over from Valentine Anderson to keep it going. Rolled from Terry. Anderson on the back row. Cut up in front of Raina Terry. Rollicking rally going right now. Off speed, Collier. Anderson. Big arm in the delivery. Off a fingertip. 22 all.
Yeah, and I would venture to say Anderson is the X factor of this set. Coach said he needs more kills. He needs more points. He needs someone to step up and be that. And it's been Anderson from the back row and the front.
The Fury will not back down here on their home floor. The all-important second set. Down 1 in this best of 5. And surging is the rookie, Akasha Anderson from Reston, Virginia.
This has been a really high-level volleyball set. Dallas Pulse hitting well above 300, hitting 364. Columbus Fury hitting 300. Those are good stats for a team. Both teams passing well. Right now, the Fury passing.
Dallas. Maldonado Diaz with the miscue.
6 service errors in this set for the Dallas Pulse. They are going for it. They're being aggressive. But 6 is a little too much for this set.
9 for the match. So it's a little bit of a window now for Columbus. And Megan Lush targeting Collier. Maldonado Diaz comes from the back. Iapo fought it off. Valentine Anderson back on the floor. Mimi Collier delivers the mail. Dallas goes up 2 in a back and forth affair in this second set. And they've taken all 5 in their young history against Columbus here in 2026, and will go for the sweep after intermission. 0-9, and we're 0-4 before they didn't get their first W on the hardwood here until February 7th. And now 0-4 and up against a big challenge with Dallas right now looking for a 3rd win in a row. After taking the first 2, Akasha Anderson. She's provided some sustenance in her first start as a rookie, but Kaylee Cox rolling along, and that's just another element you add to Maldonado.
Anderson doing a good job at setting up her attackers and balancing it out.
Abby Walker smashing through the middle. Madison, you called for it, more from the middle for Columbus, and Walker can help provide that.
Abby Walker is one of the fastest middles in this league, Coach Angel Perez said. So she gets on the ball super quickly, and she can be very efficient when they give her the ball.
Hooked on over by Van Buskirk. And they called that a palming on Van Buskirk, who was in the net. 2-1 Columbus. Unorthodox from Walker, and a lift is called on the Fury. 2-2.
Yeah, the block just there, not pressed all the way, not at the right time. You've got to go over. It's the timing. It's a little mismatch of the timing. Maldonado Diaz, like I said, with that fast arm swing and tempo set, it's hard to beat.
Quick action in the gap for Walker. Terry eschews that ball. Tip from Maldonado Diaz. Terry obliges. Drops it in.
And this was an area of the Furies game that Angel Perez said they need to focus on out of system, in transition, being more precise with the location of the sets, finishing that play, making better decisions, and being more disciplined in those in transition balls. And that was really good execution, a really good out of system set, perfectly to Rainateri.
Valentine Anderson, Shannon Windsor, head coach, perplexed for the moment after whether that was worthy of a challenge after the Terry tip. Collier, who is doing it better from the back row in the league this year for this young phenom?
I mean, Mimi Collier is at the top, and I think the balance of Maldonado Diaz is also really good on the big attack when they get her going. So both of them, both 6 rotation outsides, being that effective from the back row is such a weapon.
Charity Looper's had success doing the same. That sails in for the ace. And Orlando Stalwart and Looper. Maldonado Diaz. Errors into the twine. 4-4. That's the one thing Dallas would probably not check off tonight. The serve game. 10 serve errors. Collier with the long reach and extension, and it's too heavy.
Yeah, that pass off the net, Valentine Anderson having to run her offense from behind that 3-meter line. Mimi Collier's been very efficient. Not many errors from her tonight, so that is 100% excusable. Yeah, only 3 errors for her tonight, hitting around 500.
11 kills for Rainateri, serving here. Just the cross quarter, and so tough to deal with for Hiapo.
And it's the triple block. And so I talked to Coach Angel Perez about this, and he said the reason we're triple blocking Mimi, just like we did last time, the goal is to make her less efficient. She's very consistent on that sharp cross. So they're putting up 3 blockers to try to take that away, but she's got all of those angles still.
Serve tailed away from Van Buskirk. Rainateri says, I know how to work the big attack.
It's like mirror images of how much both teams are using their middle backs or their D-balls. Yeah, Rainateri, it's not totally a pipe, it's not totally a D-ball, it's C, just moving her a bit inside.
Collier. Well, you could hear that 2 counties away, despite the best efforts of Lush.
Yeah, Lush in the right position, but it's the power from Mimi Collier. One of the reasons why she doesn't play like a rookie, the physicality and the strength. It's all of that momentum in her approach and the explosiveness that she brings to the attack.
Valentine Anderson targeting Akasha Anderson. Oh, so well done. Picking the moment for Caitlin Horde and the super setter with the apple.
Caitlin Horde came in last match for Dallas, went 4 for 5, hit 800. So when they get the ball to her, she's very efficient. She doesn't get a ton of attempts, but when she does, she's smart with it.
Last year, Caitlin Horde in Omaha, first year in the league in Columbus. Rainateri, Valentine Anderson just sent that into orbit because of the swing of Rainateri.
Coach Perez talked about the efficiency of Rainateri from the back row. He said she's hitting around 600 from back there. That's more of a high-risk, high-reward attack. It's easier to error from the back row, but she's very efficient on it.
Horde won it again. Good dig by Pittman Nelson. Valentine Anderson taking her equilibrium. It's hard to find another setter who does that better in the league against the grain to set up Mimi Collier, who's having a night in Central Ohio. 8-7 pulse here in the 3rd set. Mimi Collier cruising along for Dallas. And she's elaborated on it before. They had a pet iguana in the family as a child named Midori, and it was an extension of that. They called the iguana Mimi, and somehow migrated to being her nickname, which she's run throughout with. So Morgan or Mimi, however you say it, it's one heck of a volleyball player. 8-8, Columbus siding out. What an effort from Lush. Horde, the jam job, Maldonado Diaz. That went outside. And 2 straight for the Fury. It was the defensive work of Lush.
Yeah, really good defense by Lush in the back row, and then good blocking by Abby Walker. Good quick hands over the net. Raina Terry showed really good discretion there to not go up and grab that ball.
Valentine Anderson. Deft little play. With that right side swing from Cox. Akasha Anderson. Heavy and hard to the back.
Akasha Anderson is putting in some work in that rally. Good block touch. She slows down the attack, transitions all the way off the net. It's the movements that you do in between touching the ball that really matter. So the transition off the net allows her to have her full approach in front of her and get the kill. Positive
sign for the Fury, not only tonight, but going forward with Anderson's production. Maldonado Diaz stops into the gap and puts it down the line.
Block not totally up and pressed on her at the right time. She really does make it look easy. She flies through the air. She's extremely dynamic when she goes up to attack.
Fury by 1. Horde hit it low at Lush. Fury collect themselves. And high ball out of system set with Raina Terry reigning terror from the block.
There is that triple block that Coach Perez puts up on both of the outsides of Dallas. You see it just such a wall. 6 hands right in front of your face, pressing over. It's so difficult to get past.
Said before tonight, it's our true test how we deal with this adversity. Who's here or who isn't. How the run of form's been going. But I'll do my best to bring the leadership, and we'll be ready as a team. Hard to be ready for that swing from Collier and Evans. Despite her best efforts, it falls in for the false point.
Ashley Evans has been really good on defense. She's made some really good defensive plays. There, the ball just too outside of her body. Couldn't get her platform underneath it and pop it up.
4th time this year, Collier's been over 20 kills. But the Fury able to side out and go back up 2. Changes to the personnel with Hiapo, Pittman Nelson off the floor, Raynell Jones. Steps in there, Maldonado Diaz. Got some extremities. Block touch, point Dallas.
Maldonado Diaz, another reason why she's so difficult to defend is because she has a lot of range. We've seen a lot of deep down the line to that area 1. We've seen some sharp cross, and then they're taking something off of it, grabbing the top fingertips.
4 seasons at Arizona, finished at Louisville. Raina Terry rolling along.
There's about a foot of space in between the outside blocker and middle blocker. Van Buskirk a little late to close, about a foot of space. Raina Terry cut it off at the perfect time with that big snap, got the kill.
Raina Terry also very adamant for these super loyal fans the Fury have to deliver the first home victory. Collier wanted the block touch, but there was no deflection. The attack error gives Columbus their largest lead here in set 3 at 14-11. But there will be a challenge here for that block touch. So don't award the point to Columbus just yet.
This is Columbus's biggest lead in the match. They're in a rhythm offensively. They're looking really good. They've kind of controlled the pace of the game. I know they would love to have this point on their side because you can never count Dallas out, so you want as much of a point difference between you and Dallas as possible.
Speaking of points, in that first matchup back January 29th, 25-23, 25-21, 25-19. Sound a little similar to what we've seen tonight. It's been 25-23 twice.
After review, there is no block touch. Columbus will retain the point.
Well, you heard it out of the mouth of Devaney McClarty, our up official. 14-11 it remains, Fury. Efficiency strong for both teams on this night. Both over 300. Well, that's pummeled, and Anderson went sprawling across. Good work in the middle by Dallas.
Really good hustle, though, by Columbus, giving it everything they have. Still up by 2. Love the fact that Valentine Anderson ran through the middle there on that good pass.
Van Buskirk's kill. Off speed from the back from Anderson. Mimi Collier through a nest of Columbus arms.
Dallas has been really good out of system, leading their attackers, and then when you have a Mimi Collier that can do those kind of cleanup plays and take care of the high sets, the quick sets, she can do it all.
At 486 efficiency, Valentine Anderson, well, you know she's good for one of those, maybe even 2 a match with some help from Horde and a big block.
That's why I said you can never count Valentine Anderson out, even though she's a bit undersized. I see about 1 of those per match, like you said, and then defensively, she's top in the league in digs, so she's a star defensively.
Pulse on a 3-0 spurt to even things at 14. Lush gets one back on that same side against that block of Valentine Anderson and Horde.
Lush is one of those players that I did say they need just a couple more kills from, but it's the intangibles that she also brings to this team, and that's why she's out there. Also, the pass, the first ball contact is so clean and consistent from her.
The mother hen, as she's known here in Columbus, for this young group of rising talent. Mimi Collier, rinse and repeat.
Mimi Collier's in the flow zone. It's when your muscle memory just takes over, and it's almost like you can do no wrong. It seems like every time she goes up to attack, she's super confident, she's not overthinking it, and she's putting the ball away.
But every time Dallas has wanted to really push it, they found a serve error, and Malaya Jones steps in and delivers a big swing. They even things at 16 out of the timeout.
And Coach Windsor said Malaya Jones is the best competitor to come off of the bench. He said, we put her in, she wants to rip the cover off the ball.
Malaya Jones was taken the 9th selection in the draft. Columbus actually traded that pick, and then a selection later took Heredia Colon, but Shannon Windsor really wanted the right side capabilities of Malaya Jones. Let's come on the floor here, and the attack error from Columbus now has them trailing. Collier is not too shabby from the serve line, top 10 in the league. Made that tough to deal with. Maldonado Diaz, and right now things are flowing for the Pulse.
Lush is kicking herself for that one. She was in the right position, just wasn't underneath it enough to pop that ball up.
Dallas grabs a 2-point ledge, 18-16. Maldonado Diaz with a follow-up to the 30-kill performance with 14 and hitting .345, and that can fall into the role of consistency her night tonight.
Absolutely, and Coach wanted her to stack on 2 good games back-to-back, and she is. It's the quick arm swing, it's the range, it's the ability to see the block, swing down the line, tool off the hands. She's also done a really good job with the pass. That was something that was touch or go last time I saw them when they played Omaha, but she's cleaned it up. She's become really consistent with first ball contact.
How tough is that to accomplish? 30 kills, the amount of swings, but to do it with the efficiency she did on Thursday night in Omaha.
These are why these are the best players in the United States. It's really difficult to do. The level is just so incredibly high.
18-16 Dallas. Collier targets Anderson. Raina Terry. It's too much. Attack error. 19-16 Pulse. Generating that attack from the serve line, Collier, but double-figure serve errors.
And if you're Columbus now, you really got to play clean. You can't commit any unforced errors. You got to clean up the attacking errors. Got to try to make up this deficit that way.
The plot thickens at 19-17. Jones. Hiapo's back out there. Abby Walker. These are the types of plays Columbus, though, down the stretch You mentioned clean. That's 2 attack errors over the last 3 points.
And coach wants to run the middle in transition. That is the play that he wants to run in that instant. Abby Walker's either overrunning it, not getting on top of it enough, or there's a little bit of a connection problem.
Well, for the first time tonight, Caroline Muth, who was injured a couple of weeks ago, back into the fold, serving here late on, and a serve error, looking for any sort of momentum, but that's hard to come off the bench and be able to deliver like.
To stop.
Kaylee Cox, 204 kills in her rookie season in Columbus. Oh my goodness, how about that from Valentine Anderson? And then Maldonado Diaz. Look what I found.
This is the flow zone. Dallas is in it right now. Muscle memory. It's almost like you can do no wrong. That was a great heads-up play by Maldonado Diaz to put it down.
Calls have this by the scruff of the neck at the moment at 22-18. This time jump, Van Buskirk and Diaz, and Terry floats it over.
Smart decision by Raina Terry. We see her open up with a lot of power, but you have to have a lot of tools in your toolbox if you're going to score against defenses as elite as this. So she's got a lot of range and versatility with her attack, and that was a smart decision.
An 11-5 run here on the back half of this set from Dallas, make it 12-5. They brought Jalen Hodge on. She serves into the net. So the Fury hanging by a thread. Dallas on the cusp of their second sweep in the Ohio Capitol at 23-19. Caitlin Horde on for the Fury. That's an overpass. It's off the back of Evans. Collier dispatches with Van Buskirk, and it's match point beckoning for Dallas.
It's a great aggressive serve. Nice flat float serve, and it's one of these situations where everything is going right for Dallas right now. They're controlling the pace of the game. They're controlling the tempo. They're aggressive from the service line. And the Fury's pass is kind of breaking down, and you can't afford for that to happen in the red zone.
And unfortunately for Columbus, it's been a lot of the same narrative when it's come to that passing breaking down. But a lot of that has to do with what Dallas has and the roster they put together in year one. Not only to have the talent, but Shannon Windsor said it from the beginning, I was more impressed and surprised by how quickly this team gelled and came together in this young season, which is just 10 games old tonight for them.
And she also said it's kind of an advantage to start from scratch. No one's inheriting bad culture. You get to build it from the ground up, and she's obviously done a good job at building it.
Going organic, and it's paying off. Oh, heavy arm from Jones to keep it alive for Columbus. Raynell Jones.
I believe that's one of the first gap sets that we've seen from the Fury. What that does is it really stresses the block, taking good space from your setter and finding seams to score.
24-20, but still a ways back for Columbus. Collier wanted to finish it, and the Fury can't find it. The debutantes from Dallas continue to get it done, and especially on the road in their very first season. They're 7-3. 5 of those victories have come away from Frisco.
And we can't talk about this matchup without talking about Mimi Collier. 7 kills in that third set, hit 500 just set after set. 8 kills in the second set, 8 in the first. Absolutely phenomenal. But full team win for them. Everyone stepped up, and Valentine Anderson did a good job at balancing out the offense.
Second